Hey friends, welcome back. It is day 4 and you are still here hanging in with me, and I just want to thank you for being here. This is so much fun for me to be able to share this with you, and the fact that you are sticking it out and hanging in here, I just think that's pretty awesome. So kudos to you. My question that I want to explore today is, if you look at somebody, or if you think about what it would look like for you to be healthy, what does that mean? And for a long time, I pretty much defined health as a size. People who were smaller were healthy. People who were bigger were not as healthy. And that is not uncommon, because in America we've got this war on obesity. We've got just this attitude that people in larger bodies are lazy, they're uneducated, they're less than in so many ways. And so if they really wanted to be healthy, they would work and get their bodies smaller. And that whole concept is very much an orchestrated effort. If you want to the book that made me angry, I told you that the one that inspired me most was Breaking Free from Body Shame. The one that made me angry was a book by Christy Harrison called Anti-Diet. And in it, she goes through the history of how our culture has just orchestrated this this vilification almost of being in a larger body, and this glorification of people in smaller bodies. And so that is just another topic for another day. But for most of us, if we look at somebody and they're in a smaller size, we would say they're healthy. And if we look at somebody and say they're in a larger size, we'd say they're not healthy. And today I want to give us a little bit of a broader definition of what health is. And according to an article I found online, and I've heard this in other readings as well, there are 8 components to your health. There are 8 things to consider when evaluating your health, or our health. And for me, and I have that article linked in the writing that'll be in today's post. So if you want to follow up on that, you can. But our health is comprised of emotional health, physical health, occupational health, social health, spiritual health, intellectual health, environmental health, and financial health. All of those things have to be good and solid for us to think that maybe we are healthy. So that's a whole lot more than a person's size. And we can compromise our emotional health by increasing our stress and trying to change our body size. We can compromise our social health by not going out with friends if there's going to be a meal involved, or by avoiding parties because you don't want to deal with the food temptations. We can compromise our spiritual health. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But if we feel that we are not worthy, that can affect our relationship with God. So these things are all intertwined, all woven together. They all interact with each other. If a person's environment is hugely impacting their health, you think of somebody who lives in an inner city somewhere where poverty is rife. How are they to get farm fresh vegetables and lean protein sources? If you think about somebody's financial health, if they're just scraping by, paying the rent is the highest priority, the food might be, there might be a food scarcity issue. And so that's going to impact a lot of things. And all of these things go together to impact and create our health. Now, I don't know about you, but I never thought of it that way. I thought that if I got to that elusive number on the scale that I told you about, that I was chasing for 40 years, I thought if I got to that number, I'd be healthy. Well, I don't know, because I never got to that number. But I do know that I can be very healthy, regardless of the size of pants I wear, and regardless of the number on the scale, because there's so much that goes into health. And we spend way too much time focusing on one tiny part of physical, which is part of a larger picture. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's such a tiny thing, and we have blown it way out of proportion. So yeah, we bought into the propaganda that we should all be a size 2 and tall if possible, which is ridiculous. Okay, so one of the things that brought this home to me was thinking about creation. When God created the world and all of the life and everything in it, I don't know how many dogs he created. I'm going to guess a handful maybe, and they all probably look fairly similar. Well, now, thousands of years later, how many different dog breeds do we have? Thousands. And now we're breeding everything with a poodle so that it's a labradoodle or whatever. So we're continuing to create all of these different varieties of dog, okay? And I don't know what Adam and Eve looked like. I'm pretty sure the pictures in our children's Bibles are just somebody's imagination. There's no description given in Scripture. And now, all these thousands of years later, we've got so many beautiful skin tones. We've got the variety of hair color, eye color. We've got different sizes. We've got different heights. We've got just all kinds of amazing, beautiful people made in the image of God still, because God's image isn't a picture. It's more than that. And so for us to think that we should all try to look, or that we can only be healthy if we are all similar sized, I think is unrealistic. It's not honoring God's creative process. And when you can let that go and be free of that expectation on yourself, it's a beautiful new world. And so what I want you to do today for your journal prompt is I want you to take each of those 8 areas of your life and jot down a couple thoughts. Are you happy with the job you have? Is your occupational health good? Do you have a good relationship with your boss and your coworkers? How about your intellectual life? Do you feel like you're learning and growing and being challenged intellectually and working towards new things? Just do that for each of those 8 areas. They'll be posted in the post that I put up in the group. And then the tip for the day, or the activity for the day, is I want you to go somewhere, if you can, and people watch. Just look at all the different types of people that have been created and born. And can you see beauty? Can you see God's image in each of them? It's a pretty eye-opening experience sometimes. I know it was for me, just to look at everybody and realize that they're all in beautiful bodies. So that is today's challenge, today's tip. Hope you have a great day. I realize I'm going a little long here, so I'll wrap it up. Go check out the post today and get your journals out too. See you tomorrow.